righty. Well, welcome to this 10-day Success Accelerator. I am so excited for you guys. This is going to be magical. Over the next 10 days, Matt and I are going to take you through this journey. This is a program. We're helping you really set yourself up. First of all, to believe in a quantum leap, to believe it's possible for you to make an exponential jump. So we invite you, I welcome you to open your heart, open your mind, forget the past, forget what's happened, forget it all other than the good stuff, and truly open yourself up. You can create more in the next 3, 6 months, 12 months of your life than you have in the last 5, 10 years all put together. And I'm saying that from someone who has done that, and Matt has done that. So what we're going to be sharing with you isn't just something we've learned, it's something that we've experienced, okay? So I cannot wait to share this all with you. Alrighty, well, first of all, I'm going to welcome Matt onto the call to explain to you guys exactly what this quantum leap is and what these 10 days are going to be about.
Hey everyone, thanks Nat. I'm really excited to be here, and like I said, there's so many familiar faces. Good to see some new and some old faces. But what I want you to keep in mind, like Nat said, is just keep an open mind. And with the ideas that we share with you, some of them may be new, some of them may have heard before. But the key thing is you don't have to accept it right away if something doesn't match up with your belief system. But don't reject it. Just entertain the idea and allow yourself to be open to it and look at it from different perception, because that's what we're going to be really sharing with you over these next 10 days is our perception through our experiences, from what we've learned and what we've put into practice and what has worked for us. Okay. And what we've also seen working with, hundreds and hundreds of people over the last 7 years that we've been in this business, what we've seen work for others. Okay, so it's not just like it's only work for us, okay? And we can share stories and we can share all these amazing things with you. But the key thing is that you just allow yourself to see it from a different perception. And then you can test the idea out for yourself by applying it in your life, right? And when we talk about quantum leaps, what that is, I've got U Squared here in front of me. It's one of my favorite books that Bob Proctor introduced us to. And he paraphrases Fred Alan Wolf, and he says, a quantum leap is the explosive jump that a particle of matter undergoes in moving from one place to another. In a figurative sense, taking the quantum leap means taking a risk, going off into uncharted territory with no guide to follow. Okay, and so how do we relate that to us as people? How do we relate that to us in our results? Because we want to relate this information to us achieving a quantum leap in our lives, with whether it's your income, your health, your relationships, your it's any area of your life that is your point of focus right now. Okay, and he says a quantum leap implies an explosive jump in your personal performance. Okay, that puts you far beyond the next logical step. It's a formula for stunning advances in achievement and the realization of your dreams. Okay, the concept is one of exponential gains rather than incremental progress. You might compare it to multiplying instead of adding. And this is what I love. He says, that's exciting as well as provocative, but it gets even better. Remember, quantum leaps can come without apparent effort. These are high velocity moves that carry you to dramatically higher performance levels without a time consuming struggle. Now that, to me, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will, but I absolutely love that, right? Without a time consuming struggle. Like, I think we've been programmed to think that, progress is like one step at a time. And it might seem like that on a physical level. But what we're talking about is going from A to Z, okay? And you making big jumps in your improvement over a period of time. And the quantum leap is going to be something that you not going to see looking forward. Okay, you can imagine it, but it's going to be something that you can look at backwards. You can look back and think, wow, like I literally made such huge progress in a short period of time, right? And I think back of, there's so many quantum leaps that I can see that I've experienced over the last 7 years from being in this environment and being in this business. But my mind always automatically goes back to when I first started in this business, because there was such a big change in such a short period of time, right? I look back, I used to be an electrician. I was an electrician for 11 years. I had my own business. That's all I knew when it came to work, right? That's all I knew when I came to providing, financially for my family. And I was working very hard. I was working 6 to 7 days a week. I was, I was earning just about 120,000 a year, but I was really working for it, right? And then when I started in this business, within 3, like Nat and I started part-time. Okay, sorry, I started part-time. Nat went all in full-time, and she can probably share that with you herself. But I started part-time, and within 3 months, we were able to go, both of us together, full-time. I completely gave up my previous career that I've been in for 11 years. It was all I knew. People thought we were crazy for going into this business in the first place. And that for me was a huge quantum leap. It was a huge quantum leap in financially, but also in fulfillment, because I loved this material. I loved studying. I loved reading the books, watching the videos, and sharing these ideas with people, right? And to be able to be doing this full time, helping people in different parts of the world, with an online business where I could work from home, I could spend time with Nat, I could spend time with my son, Oliver. He only had one son at the time. Okay. It was, for me, it was like a dream come true that was realized within 90 days. Okay. And so I always look back at that and like, wow, like there were people that we knew in this business that had been doing it for years that were still doing it part-time. Now, by the end of our first year, we're one of the top 5 consultants in the world. And I'm not telling you this story to impress you about me, but more to impress you upon you. I know these ideas work. I know that you can condense time and space by applying the ideas that we're going to share with you over the next 10 days. Okay.
I just love this, because quantum leaps are all inside of you right now. They're inside all of us. There is a version of you that's just waiting to be expressed, this quantum leap version of you. And I want you to just think about that for a second. Think of a version of you who has achieved something that's defied logic. It's collapsed time. It's a version of you that's exponentially in a different place than, let's say, where you were a minute ago. And I want you to anchor to that. Really anchor to this version of you. Now, once you have that in your mind, whether it's a goal, a specific goal that you've achieved, whether it's this way you feel about yourself, whether it's your whole life that's changed, there's this version. The fact that it's just come into your mind means it's possible, means it's already here. Now it's about bringing that version of you forward. It's about believing it's possible. So for you to create a quantum leap, and I keep saying, this is the best year of my life. This is the affirmation I've taken this year. And I would really encourage you to adopt it, because if everything we believe is true, everything we think is true for us. So if you believe this is the best year of my life, it's actually going to be the best year of your life. Forget how that looks like. It's the feeling right now. Now, let's go deeper than that. This is the best year of your life. You've taken an exponential jump in your results. Wow. You're looking back 12 months from today. Think of this version. Think of this goal. Now, what you've got to do is you have to believe. The first step, right, after clarity of what you want, is to believe that it is possible for you this year. Not possible for you one day, but possible for you now. That this is possible, right? Because unless we believe that you can take that quantum leap, it cannot happen in your life, right? We cannot hope for it. We cannot wish for it. We cannot long for it. We must believe. Okay. And I love what Price Pritchett says in here. He says, right now, in this moment, all of you listening right now, you are capable of exponential improvement in your performance, in your results, in your lifestyle, in your happiness, in your income, in all of aspects of your life. You can multiply your personal effectiveness, hit new highs, and shatter old achievement records. The results you can have will be hard for you to imagine. You can become U squared. You don't have to settle for things as they are now. That can change dramatically. I love that. If you're ready, life is prepared to give you a breakthrough experience. You can jump to a higher orbit of achievement, live the dream, enjoy a completely different plane of success. And this is what we want to talk to you about. This is what we're going to help you understand and achieve. Because those days of just gathering information are done, right? Like it's time to really make this happen for you, each and every one of you, right? Now, I want you all to declare in the chat, just type it in, like that you are ready. Like I am ready for my quantum leap, right? And this is so powerful because it's intention. I am ready. It's a decision. We must make a decision that we are ready for our quantum leap, right? I don't know about you, Matt. I've been ready since last year. Are
I'm
you ready? I'm ready.
I'm always ready for a quantum leap. And that's the thing, right? You got to invite it in. You invite in, like, I love what you said about your belief. Like, you got to believe it, right? And that's probably one of the trickiest things when it comes to inviting the quantum leap in. It's accepting that possibility. And I think the more you understand this material, the more you understand how the creative process works, your belief will just naturally increase, right? Your belief will increase, like, wow, like I can do this. I can do this. And you invite it into your life, like allow it to be a possibility this year.
Absolutely. Allow it in. I love that because we're not forcing it in. We're allowing it in. How do we allow it in? How do we collapse time? This is like the golden question. How do we collapse this time? And I'm thinking of you, Matt, when you collapse time to change, it's not a job that was changed. It was a career that was changed, right? And then literally the income that was created it wasn't down to zero that you've changed this career. It wasn't starting from scratch. It's like you've kept going. It's incredible in hindsight, right? And if I think back of my quantum leap, it's not just this one key moment. Sure, there's been all these, what I call quantum leaps, but my reflecting last night, the biggest quantum leap that I have created myself has been the lifestyle we've created for our family. And it is one of the most proudest ones that jazz me because I got into this material. I wanted to improve my life for my family. I've become more effective, more productive, healthier, happier, wealthier, all of that with 3 children, more than when I didn't have any. When I had all this time, when I had all this, all these other things that we can perceive as well. So I've shattered ideas about limitation when it comes to having a family and success because I didn't want to believe that. I didn't want to believe that it took longer. Didn't want to believe all of these ideas that it's harder with children. I had to shatter all of that because our beliefs are creating our reality. So when it comes to the lifestyle and how I grew up, that's a quantum leap. Taking our kids in business class, flying around the world, the lifestyle we live, having the ability now that I'm so blessed to have people help us, you know, whether it's having a housekeeper or, you know, it's lifestyle where I grew up wondering why I didn't have that in my life, or wondering why someone else did and we didn't as a family. And so I started this creation in my mind way back, in even the wondering, why them and not us? Why, right? Until I realized that even that thought is a thought you would not have if you had that lifestyle. You wouldn't be thinking, why them and not me, right? See, we must align ourselves to every ounce of the thought from the wish fulfilled. We must align ourselves from being this person, stepping in, right? So if I think of Matt, when he used to do seminars, he was, I mean, you can talk about this. You were literally changing your identity. So you must change your identity. Matt had an identity of an electrician. He wore certain clothes. To change that identity, he had to literally wear a suit, right? It's an external change of an internal change. And at the beginning, it can feel false when you haven't believed it in yet. You're in the process of changing your self-image. And self-image is something we're going to talk about, and how you can change it to collapse time to manifest your quantum leap over the next 10 days, which is so exciting. So changing your self-image is essential. We have clarity of your goal, we have belief, and we have your change of your self-image, right? And then you must embody this new image of you, whether it's a wealthier version of you, whether it's got to do with finances, whether it's got to do with your career, whether it's got to do with success, whatever success means to you, it's an embodiment. You must depart from the older version of you, literally, and embody this newer version of you, this more divine, quantum leap version of you. And that's what it's going to take for you to create this quantum leap. It's not harder work. It doesn't take more time. You can be more effective with less time. So it's none of that. What you do need to do is be ready to let go of the old and embrace the new. So I'm going to ask you, Matt, what's one key thing that you can help everyone with right now, so to ensure they create their quantum leap this year?
Well, I think you nailed on the head with the first step. It's clarity, right? You want to be crystal clear in what it looks like at the end of the quantum leap, okay? Because if you don't know where you're going, how can you create that quantum leap? So, and this is something that I love, right? When it comes to taking a quantum leap, you don't have to know what the middle looks like, okay? In fact, you won't know what the middle looks like, because when you're taking a quantum leap, you're going into the unknown. It's somewhere you've never been before, okay? There's no, like Price Pritchard said, there's no guide to follow. Like, you're going into uncharted territory, right? But the key thing is when you know what the landing place looks like and you're crystal clear on that, okay, you're activating a possibility, okay? There are infinite possibilities. I want you to grasp that idea, infinite possibilities, okay? You can literally become any person that you want to become. You can do anything that you want to do, okay? The possibility is there. But you, as Nat's saying, you got to become that person. So you have to become a vibrational match for that person. Okay, you got to think, feel, and act like that person. And you're always attracting into life whatever's in harmony with that person. So I think, let's go back a step here. Clarity in what that quantum leap looks like once you've arrived is where we want to start to ensure that quantum leap. Okay, so I would love for you to think for a moment now. What does that look like for me? Okay, ask yourself that question. What does that quantum leap look like for me once I've arrived? Okay, and pick like one thing that you can focus on. And I'd love to hear it. Type it in the chat. What does it look like for you? Okay, it's like declaring it, like, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm creating. And I would love for you to write it, not as if you're going to do it. Write it as if you've already done it. I have blah, 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 blah.
I love that.
But I think, the clarity and, one key thing that we always teach people is when you're setting the goal, you don't know have to know how you're going to get there, but you need to really, really want it. Okay? Because if it's not something that is a strong desire of yours, the chance of you actually doing the work, the inner work, and persisting and doing any, acting on a physical level as well, is going to be far less if it's not a desire. Right? But when you're emotionally connected, when you fall in love with an idea, you're going to be inspired. Okay? You're going to be inspired to go and make that phone call that person, start that business, ask that person out on a date, whatever it is, you're going to be inspired. Okay? It's going to come from within you. It's not going to be an intellectual thing. It's going to be something that's coming from your heart. Okay? That emotion is what's going to keep consistently moving you into inspired action. And inspired action is the way you create quantum leaps.
I love that. We're going to get into all the steps in the quantum leap, but I love that.
Yeah. I remember very clearly when you asked Bob Proctor, you said, is intuition the key to taking a quantum leap? And he thought about it for a moment. He said, absolutely yes. Right? It's an intuitive process. Okay? It's going to come from within you. You think of that quantum leap. We got some people writing in, like Lauren Krut's written, I have a 3-figure income business with incredibly happy clients who keep coming back and who keep recommending me to others. It's amazing. I'm living my dream. Amazing, right? Lauren, you're already that person. That's already inside you. You don't have to get anything to achieve that result. You got to become that person. Like, you have to bring that to the surface. That is a set of ideas that have come from within you. Right? Same as you, Bronnie. I live on a natural, harmonious, grateful, abundant belief that I did it every day of my life. I walk through my home. I see the hall, the door, the kitchen. I see my steering wheel in my hands. I smell lavender in my home. I am home. I love my life. I created this. Absolutely. Right? Once again, that's come from inside you. It's a becoming process. Right? You express it. Like, these ideas are wanting to express themselves with and through you. Okay? I believe the ideas come to us. Okay? It's not something we're getting. Okay? It might seem like we're plucking them out of nowhere, but the ideas come to us. We're always attracting things that are in harmony with us. So, it's a matter of now just becoming that.
I love these. And just take that minute, even right now, to clarify the landing place. Like Matt said, I have da 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 da. I am now da 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 da. Whatever that is, you fill in the blank. And for some of you, it's clear, you know it. Some of you, today's the day you're getting clearer, which is perfect. So there's no judgment. We are now moving forward, right? All together. Trust your own pace. I'm now happy and grateful now that I'm living in my dream, living my dream role in my perfect home effortlessly, endlessly. That's amazing, right? So you've got that image. You've got that image. The truth is, it doesn't even matter what image I have. All that matters is the one you have, right? Because every image, every thought is a frequency. And as you change that image, you're altering the frequency. So we got to lock in. We got to clamp in that landing place, like Matt said.
I want you to think, I think of these ideas that you're typing here. I think of my idea, my goal, my dream, what I'm working towards. If it's an idea that you're in love with, you're not going to have to try to think of it, or try and remember to think about that goal, or, you know, to, like, it's not going to be something that you try. It's going to become so naturally to you. Like, I think of when I first met Nat, right? And we were first dating, like, I didn't have to try and remember to think about her. Like, she was just on my mind. Why? Because I was in, I'm going to say, yeah, I was in love. I was in love with something, right? And so it was persistently on my mind, right? When we're in love with something, it is there. You know, like when you're driving, you might see the image of it on your dash, right? Like, it's just like a hologram. Okay, like, it's just there. It's with you all the time, wherever you go. You can be going scuba diving and it'll be there with you as well. Okay, doesn't matter where you are. Joshua, I have a career as one of the top sales consultants globally in a field that I am passionate about, and I earn a 7-figure income, have an amazing life with my family and friends. I love that, Josh. You've created some quantum leaps yourself years ago. Very a wonderful story.
Sounds like it's time for another one.
Another one. Yeah, absolutely. It's always time for another one.
Stephen, I've achieved my new coaching business that's helping people and earning millions. I have a house to live in, paid in full. My life is a true blessing. My wish is fulfilled. Every day is harmonious.
I love it.
That. See, I love even what you've added there, Stephen, and how you feel, right? Like, harmonious is a vibration of the way you live, right? So it's really beautiful to embody how you feel, as well as the clarity of the image, right? Now we're anchoring emotion, right? Okay.
So Lauren,
I meant 6 figures. That's fine.
we know what you meant, Lauren.
That's it. That's all that matters. See, that this is really, really important. The truth is, your dream in your heart is true for you. Your dream in your heart, your spouse doesn't even have to believe it. The truth is, this is a real golden key. Others are not going to treat you like you have achieved your quantum leap until you believe you are this person who has achieved your quantum leap. So you're going to have to stay really steadfast in your mind and lock in to this dream. So whether it's me, whether it's Matt, whether it's anyone else in your life, it truly doesn't even matter if they correct you, if they go, well, what about this? It's your dream. It's your baby. Okay. And this is what you're birthing. And let's go to another level. Let's go to Neville here. It's already done. It's already done. But there are beliefs in the way that have prevented the physical manifestation of this quantum leap you desire. And as we become aware of these limiting ideas and replace them with an idea that you would have as this person, now you've created harmony in the vibration. Now you're linked. And so we're really linking, link until it is a constant natural frequency for you to be 6-figure earner, 7-figure earner, living in this house, filling the blank. So the quantum leap doesn't take time and it is not hard. I want you to eliminate those two things right now. So what is it then? It can be effortless, and it can collapse time. You can manifest. I want you to all accept this more in the next 3-6 months than you have in the last 5 years all put together. Can you guys grasp that? Like, truly grasp that. So let me ask you now, what do you believe you have to accept for this to happen? What do you believe you have to either let go of or believe? What must be adjusted for you to be this quantum leap version of you within the next, let's say, 6 months? Because we're getting you to think and raise your own awareness.
I have a question, Nat, because some people might be looking at their current results and they might be thinking, they may have even been trying to, create massive changes in their life for a period of time, right? And they haven't been able to. Like, what would you say to that person that is sitting there thinking, but my results are this, right? And they might be very challenged at the moment. What would you suggest?
The reason I kind of laugh there is because that's been a battle that I myself have had to really overcome, is that thought of, yeah, but this is my life, or this is what I've, in other words, the habitual thought of what I haven't achieved as opposed to what I had created. The person, think about this. When you've created your quantum leap, would you be thinking that way? One of my biggest awarenesses was when I thought, oh my God, I was always embarrassed and didn't feel good about my results. Until one day I thought, I wouldn't be thinking like that or feeling like that when I've manifested my dream life. So there was let's say, this habitual feeling, this habitual loop of thought about my own results, right? And so when I realized that I'd feel proud and I'd feel grateful and I'd feel so happy and I would feel successful, I realized that would be the feeling I would have. So whenever I would notice those old feelings creeping in, because the truth is there's wiring going on. We're dealing with this wiring, conditioning, programming, paradigm, whichever word you want to use. That as much as I wish, I could just press a button and all the wiring got aligned to match your wish fulfilled, this is the work we've got to do. So it's the programming or the wiring in the way. There's a loop going on. Whatever that loop is, it's a circuit. So you got to create a new circuit, your new inner dialogue, your new inner conversation, your thoughts and your feelings. You really work on those two, and the actions take care of themselves as well, because you'll be impulsed into the action. You're not forcing the action, but you're impulsed. For example, I'll give you just one that comes to mind. I wanted to create an image. I'm telling you from where I came from thinking like I would talk about how poor I was. Like that was my inner dialogue. And I would always think of how bad I was at everything. So I was someone that, you may not even know that, but I had probably one of the worst self-talks you could imagine, and poverty consciousness. So the idea of being wealthy and confident and, was as foreign as it would be for a lot of things, right? Polarity. So walking into a Louis Vuitton store the first time, I felt nauseous. I felt sick. I felt uncomfortable. Going into anything that was more in harmony with the new image was feeling uncomfortable. So there's this discomfort that happens. It's not about running away from it, but asking yourself, oh, this is interesting. What's coming up? So I guess to answer your question, Matt, there's a couple of things here. The inner dialogue would change, and you're moving through discomfort, being the version of you who has achieved your goal. Because now these are more natural things you would be doing. These are your new normals. So the old circuit gets changed, and you're going to start moving into territory you've never been before. You're going to be doing things you've never done before. You're going to be feeling ways about yourself you've never felt before. And so this is why it's an intuitive process. It's not a comfortable process that you're staying in your conditioning. Your quantum leap is out of the conditioning. And I think of you, Matt. I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, but when you were doing seminars and changing your image, especially in the first 3 months, and the truth was, even though you had changed career, you were still changing that self-image, right? Because the battle kept going on for a few months, if not 6 months. And then it just kept tapering off and off and off. And the electrician image faded away and the successful coach image came in. And right. So, but when you were doing seminars, like explain how that discomfort and the change in what you experiencing are creating your quantum leap.
Well, first of all, let me just say the thought of public speaking was one of my greatest fears ever, right? Like it was just terrified me. And so when I first started in this business, it wasn't even a thought in my mind that I could even do it, right? But as I started to, go through this process and create this new image for myself, and I started entertaining this idea of, doing seminars, and like it was very uncomfortable for me, right? And we actually didn't host our first seminar. I think it was nearly 6 months in. But I've been working up to it in the sense of building my self-image and working from the inside out. And as I felt like I was going through this process of fighting the old version of myself, right? Where it was just like clinging on with everything that I had to like be my identity, right? And so what I was doing was I was recreating this version of myself from the inside out, but I was going out and acting on it at the same time. Okay, so I was doing the inner work, but I was also putting myself in a situation where I stepped into that image on a physical level too, right? And I remember times I'll be in a seminar and I'd be like terrified, right? I'm here hosting this seminar and I'm great when I was in the end of it, but I remember like there was one time I was so nervous. I had to we took a break. I went to the toilet, put toilet paper underneath my armpits, and then came back. Like I was just so nervous, right? But it was something that I was willing to go through that process of becoming that me, that new version of me, right? Now I've spoken in front of thousands of people, and once again, I can still feel that level of discomfort sometimes, right? But it's not like it used to be, right? It's in fact like being here speaking with you guys in this environment is very comfortable for me. I feel like I feel very relaxed, right? So it's become my new normal, right? It's like I've settled in, I've worn in this new image. It's just who I am, but I'm constantly now raising the bar and I'm stepping into a new image, stepping into a new version of myself. And, I remember, because we were doing the public talks, initially in our first year and so on. And then there was a time it's like, okay, I want to do like a Facebook Live, right? And you'd think that'd be easier than speaking in person with, people in front of you. But I found that there was these ideas that were making it hard for me, right? And I was terrified to do that. Even though I've spoken in front of people in person, it was just an idea. See, it's ideas that bring up the fear. It's ideas that bring up the discomfort. Okay. And as we start to accept new ideas, okay, we can welcome new things into our life. Okay. But the image, if I look back at when I first started speaking, I saw myself, the thing that scared me was the idea of being in front of people and maybe forgetting what to say or not knowing what to say or saying something wrong and people criticizing me, right? It ultimately comes down to a fear of criticism, okay? And so I reworked all that and I saw people loving what we were saying, interacting, and, this was just an image that I altered, right? And like Nat said, we're going to go into self-image during these 10 days to help you with that, but ultimately it's all about ideas. We want you to accept this new idea for yourself, or we encourage you to accept this new idea for yourself. And, we want you to get into alignment with this version of yourself now. And it's not a forceful process, okay? Because we don't want to force anything, because force negates, okay? It's allowing yourself to be that person.
Yes, I love that.
Allowing, yeah.
And this is the truth. There is going to be discomfort in growth, but it's permanent. And I love what you just shared, Matt, because it's so true. The only reason why it is the discomfort is because of the thought, the old thought, a fear that's coming up. And this is how I love to really challenge it and go, what's coming up for me right now? Oh, this. And you might even catch the thought. And so what I've done is I've then learned how to override it, how to change that. And when you change it and you impress that new one, then you're changing your natural state. It becomes more natural for you to now be this version, and the funny thing is, like, I haven't seen Matt in his old electrical clothes for years because he hasn't attracted anything in harmony with the old image anymore. When you change, when you go from, let's say, you're earning, I don't know, 50,000 a year or 100,000, and you want to get to 7 figures, it's a different image of you. The thoughts you have about prices are different. The thoughts you have about traveling are different. The thoughts you have about your bank account, or not. Maybe if you haven't changed your savings thinking, then your income thinking has changed, but not your savings. So this is the interesting thing. As we experience contrast, we also become more aware of what we want, become clear. Oh, yeah, I want to have more in my bank account, and I want my income to go up, right? So now the thinking in both areas has to change. So this is the beautiful thing. We're here to play. We're here in this ground of playing. But I just want to remind you that although this is joyful and easy and effortless, there is discomfort that comes with quantum leaps. But it's not a hard thing. Think of it as a thrilling thing. Think of it as inviting you to grow. It's like doing something for the first time that you're like, ooh, and there's this thrill about it, this joy about it, this excitement about it. It's not a petrifying thing that feels like failure and scary and, despondent. It's an excitement, yet new energy.
Nail on the head. I think that's exactly what it is. It's a new energy. And I think anytime there's anything new, it can be a time where there's like an adjustment process. If you persist with it, you'll become comfortable and it will become more natural to you. And I love what Danish says here. She says, I realize that I have to do the work that's uncomfortable. That this takes more than thinking and feeling, but actually doing the work, not letting my paradigm hold me back, that I don't know how, so I won't do anything.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a huge one.
The thought and the feeling will precede the action, but you can also take the action to keep elevating your thoughts and your feelings. You can gain momentum that way too, right? But it doesn't need to be a forceful thing. Like I was saying earlier, inspired action is coming from within you. It's not something you're intellectually telling yourself, I need to do this, okay? When you're in love with an idea, when you're in love with this goal, this point that you're working towards, you'll know what the next step is. Like God, your intuition, you will always be led to that next step. Your job is to take that step.
Yeah. The new energy though, like it's new and it's uncomfortable. So I was just thinking there's two types of people. We're going to finish this off and leave you with an assignment, or not an assignment, just a fun thing to do. But there's the person who loves discomfort, and there's a person who doesn't want discomfort. And I can say that I can relate more to the person who loves discomfort. And you can think, which one am I? Do I shy away from it, or do I love challenges? Do I love new things? So Danish, it's such a great thing, because if you're doing the thinking and you're imagining, but you're pumping the brakes when it comes to acting like this person, right? Then you will stay in the older image, and it's slow. The change is slow. Quantum leap is going to require constant discomfort. But change your relationship with discomfort and just say, my quantum leap is going to require me to be in a new energy more often. A new energy, the one that I want. That's what I'm talking about, whatever that is. So embrace. This is now where we're inviting you to be clear and also embrace what starts to happen, because the old conditioning is the only thing that's going to be in the way of you being this person and acting like this person. So now you have a choice. Who do you decide to be? The older version or this quantum leap version? And that's who you've got to anchor to every single day. And every moment you can choose to come from this goal, from this wish fulfilled, from this quantum leap version of you, is a moment that you're changing the loop. You want to make every moment, when you're cooking dinner, when you're eating out, when you're buying gifts, when you're walking to the car, every moment is an opportunity for you to think, feel, and act from this quantum leap version of you.
Isn't that
Today is the day.
Isn't that so awesome? You only have to do it one moment at a time. That's it. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Just one moment at a time. Just be that person. Choose to think like that person. Choose to embrace the feelings that person would have. Choose to just take one action step that lines up with that version of you. Right? Moment by moment, you will become like that. Like, we can only be right now, right? I can't be something tomorrow or change who I was yesterday. I can only choose to be something in this moment right now. And who I am right now is attracting the conditions and circumstances of tomorrow. Right? And so it's just how you show up.
Absolutely.
It can be
I
so
love
fun.
it.
It can be so
All right.
good,
So
fun.
guys, we're going to finish up now. And what I would love you to do, so hopefully by now you're all in the Facebook group, in our 10-day Success Accelerator group. If you're not, just send us a message and we'll send you the link. Okay. But in there, two things. Number one, right? Write down and share your biggest gems from today's call. Really valuable, because it's going to fast track your awareness over 10 days. So please just use it. Your biggest gem from this call from today. And I want you to just rewrite, even though you've typed it in here, rewrite your quantum leap. Okay, what that looks like. Your clarity is the key today. Clarity. So whether you want to write it on your journal on a piece of paper and then just pop the photo in, this is your safe, supportive community. The more people that see you with your wish fulfilled, the more power it gives you. There is intention behind this. So we can be hiding away and hiding it, or we can step into this safe place and cheerlead each other on and go, woohoo, Lauren, yes, you are this amazing six-figure earner. I see that. And every person will add to your image. That's power. It's fast tracking it, right?
Co-creation.
Co-creation, exactly, at its finest. So they're your two things. Just to remind you again, your biggest gems in the Facebook group and your clarity, your quantum leap. And every single day from now until Thursday, you've got a few days to practice. Every moment you can come from your achievement, come from this version of you. The thought, the feeling, the action, all of it. Okay?
Can I just add to that? Can I just add to that, Nat? When you're writing the assignment that Nat's given you, write it all in the present tense. Write it as if you've already done it. That's super important. Okay. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, like you did with when you write in the chat, but write a detailed description. Okay. And as you're writing, you're going to see other thoughts will come to you. Just keep adding to it. Okay, but keep it all present tense.
Excellent.
Well, it's been a lot of fun.
It has. I cannot wait for our Thursday call. So in a few days' time, same time, we're going to be here back on Zoom. So let's go. Let's make magic happen. I'll see you guys in the Facebook group. Mwah, you're all awesome.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.